Should you even rebalance your portfolio? And the answer, of course, is no. It doesn't make any sense to do that. And I'll prove it to you here in just I'll show you here in just a second. And I just think way too much ink and time and energy are spent on rebalancing a portfolio. If you're in retirement, you don't rebalance a portfolio. Why? Because you have the barbell. You got cash and you got stocks, or cash, bonds, and stocks, whatever your risk of tolerance is. So you got the CBS, cash, bonds, and stocks, or you got CS gas, cash, and stocks. You don't need to rebalance. If you're growing your portfolio like I am, there's absolutely no need to rebalance whatsoever. Now, look, at the end of the day, I guess you could say I rebalanced. I didn't. I just had a bunch of cash on the side, a little bit of cash on the side. It's something to buy. The market hit close to a bear market last week, and I bought some of my cash. And so now I'm limited on my cash amount. I'm more invested than I was. I don't like to be limited in my cash amount, but if I could buy shares at 20% off, I'm very. That doesn't happen very often, and when it does happen, I'm going to take advantage of it if I have cash on the side. So for me, I don't even rebalance, other than when I'm adding to my portfolio, I might build up some cash, but I don't rebalance. So you really don't want to rebalance. We want to keep cash. We want to keep stocks. If we have some bonds, we keep them while you're retired. If you're growing your portfolio, you just say, I'm heavy in stocks, or I got some cash, and I might take advantage of cheap prices, but I'm not rebalancing. All right, so and the reason for that, by the way, is we just have the top. We have the total index. I mean, that's it. What would you rebalance into? We have the total index. Now, if you have the total index on stocks and the total index on bonds, what are you going to rebalance into? It doesn't make sense. So let me just show what I'm talking about here. Here's this guy, Nick Maggiulli at Ritholtz Wealth Management. They're in New York. And I think Ben Carlson is with Ritholtz, a couple of guys. But anyway, this is a pretty good article here. What is the optimal portfolio rebalancing strategy? Says Nick Maggiulli. And we're going to show you here. We got 4 different ones. No, we just came aside. No. Quarterly rebalance. The portfolio rebalances once every 3 months. Annual rebalance. 10% drift. The portfolio rebalances anytime the actual allocation is 10% above or below its target allocation. And never rebalance, which is, for this caveman, that sounds good to me. This right here sounds like, because we don't want even looking at your portfolio that often. Annual rebalance is fine. Quarterly, don't do that. Anyway, so you're going to see he's got total stock index, total bond index. He got a bunch of things here. So you can see all Vanguard stuff. Going back to 1996, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 bear markets, close to a fifth in Q4 2018, and we had reached a bear market in this year as well, even though it's very temporary. We didn't even close for the day. We just reached it, then we jumped back up before the markets closed that day. So we basically had 6 bear markets roughly. But anyway, so you can see here, quarterly rebalance, he had to do 115 rebalances. All right, no, we just came inside. Annual rebalance, we had to do 29 annual rebalances because it's been 29 years. 10% drift, we've had to do 8 times, and then never rebalance, which is music to my ears. I'm like, caveman, I'm a lazy guy. We just came aside. And you're going to see, I have a hard time. I'm going to show you this chart here. Cumulative rebalance by performance by rebalancing strategy. We're not pulling money from the portfolio, mind you. You can see the 60 is a 60-40 portfolio in this case. They're not doing all stocks, but anyway, 60% stocks, 40% bonds. The cumulative return was 623%. The annual is 7.14, and that did the best. In fact, if you quarterly rebalanced, you did the worst. You had a cumulative return of 542% and an annualized return of 6.7. None of those are anything. Spit distance of each other. The question is, does it worth it to do the time, energy, the potential taxes, the potential cost of trade and whatnot of doing this quarterly rebalance? Well, the answer is unequivocally no. Just in terms of what this guy says, 1996 till today, it's just not. Historical drift by rebalancing, I don't even care about that. It's historical drift stuff. So let's keep going here. Just show you what I'm talking about here. Right here. This is pretty interesting. Annual performance comparison, different rebalance frequencies. And you can see right here, he says, never rebalanced portfolio has performed since 2000, right here. Well, since 2013, the never rebalanced portfolio has outperformed the other 3 strategies in all but 2 periods. All right. On an annual basis, the rebalancing neither caused nor prevented a significant performance difference in any given calendar year. That's what I want to say. Because look, you see 2008 right here. They all got smoked. They all did. I mean, so you can see the annual rebalance was in the orange. That was down 22%, where the never rebalance was down 25.74. I always cracks me up like, I beat the market. I was like, so the market was down 37%. So if you're down 36%, is that something to write home about? Yes, because I beat the market. All right, you still lost a quarter of your capital in all these things here in 2008. Every single one lost basically a quarter of their capital. 2022, the annual, all these guys, I mean, the never rebalance was down 17%, but these other guys are still down 15. 2018, they're all down 5. I mean, 2015, they're all down 1. 2011, they're all down. So they fell in lockstep here. And then you have the performance that never rebalance. You can see in the up years that never rebalance did better. So you lost a little bit more on the downside, but you looked like you had some years we did significantly better. Anyway, so I find that pretty interesting. Here's a max drawdown, 37.87%. I'm sure that's in 2008 for some point from 2007 to 2009. And then never rebalanced, only 35.97 in the annual rebalance. So you saved yourself, basically 200 basis points, but you're still down 36%. Up down ratio, you can see they all have the 98% in terms of downside. So if the market was down 100%, they all captured 98% of the downside. So at the end of the day, not much of a risk differential to rebalance versus just not much at all. Should you rebalance differently using bull and bear markets? And the answer is basically no. It just doesn't change much. So I wouldn't waste my time. I just say, what is my risk tolerance? If I'm more conservative, I'm going to have cash, bonds, and stocks. If I'm less conservative, I'll have cash and stocks. That's pretty much it. That's all you got to do. Don't make this. Look, this isn't rocket science. I know people that try, I'm a PhD and I do evidence-based investing and my fall guys got Nobel Prizes. It doesn't matter. This isn't science, dude. This is just pure speculation on ideas that could enhance your trading strategy. And the best way to enhance your trading strategy is to buy the index and look out the window. That's it. All right, God bless. Love your thoughts. Subscribe! If I find out you haven't subscribed, oh boy, it's going to get bad out there. God bless.